Hola, ¿qué tal, Duval? We are here to talk about our boys' latest appearance on, well, their first appearance on the Korean show, Idol Radio. It happened, I think it was yesterday, early morning for me. I'm in the United States. But, oh my God, I literally got home from work and watched the whole 2 hours of it. I don't usually watch it, even though I like a lot of Korean artists. The disadvantage is that they don't have subtitles half the time. So, and also when they speak, just like within our language, whether you speak English or si hablamos español, la manera en que hablan a veces se comen palabras o es difícil de comprender. So I don't watch when a lot of Korean artists, of the artists I listen to when they go to Idol Radio, because I'm like, no te entiendo. Because they don't have any English translations, they just speak all in Korean. So it was definitely a fresh breath air to have Santos Bravos there, even though they're a Latin pop group. The format was they spoke in English, they had their translator, so they spoke in English. Eric from The Boys obviously spoke to them in Korean. The translator translated to English to the boys, and the boys, Santos Bravos, responded in English, and translator would translate it to Korean. Because Idol Radio is based in Korea, and most of the viewers of this channel are Korean, and obviously a lot of the fans that went to the show they went to see Eric, so he had to speak Korean so his fan base would understand him, and also like the fans that are watching online would understand him. But also I love that a lot of the Santos Bravos fans, our Latin fans, were there. People from Peru and other parts of the country, they represented. So just so you guys, I don't know if a lot of you, because I know a lot of you, some of you are familiar with like K-pop, and that's what made you interested in watching the reality show of like the making of Santos Bravos, but some of you are new to this and they're basically following the boys from their, respective countries. So the format of Idol Radio is this: it's like a radio show, but you can also watch it because you can listen to it in Korea in like Korean stations, but you can also watch it on YouTube. So the format is, it's the radio booth with giant windows that face the street, and right outside in the street view, there's like a section where fans are allowed to show up and basically line up, first come first serve, line up by the windows so they can see the artists that they're supporting at the time, see them be there, interact with whoever the host is, because the host rotates. That's why it's Idol Radio. Like at any given time, it could be a different singer, it could be an actor that is hosting the show, interviewing other singers. So the fans show up and they basically are there for the live audience, kind of. And the way it works, it's literally like an honor system that I'm sure you guys have seen. You can show up and hold your spot by putting a piece of paper with your name or putting a chair, and you just like line up. That's why I said first come first serve. You don't have to physically stand there. You can leave your marker to save your space, and most fans will be pretty respectful and just save it. Depends on the fandom, to be honest. So that's how it was. From what I heard, it was obviously a lot of Asian fans that were there to see the boys, Eric from The Boys, and obviously their Latin fan base. So there was a mix of culture within the fans. Inside, it's a pretty small room. It's set up kind of like you saw in the video, where the section where it's the interview section where Eric is, reading from the prompter, like the questions, and interacting with the guests, but also they have the other open space so they can do a little bit of like showcase their talents. So Idol Radio it's a really, really good platform for them to go into, to show people that don't know who they are, not only their music, but their personalities, which is why we had segments like the relay dance, and we had segments of them like introducing each other, introducing themselves, like what are their likes, their names, their hobbies, what they're most known for, and then like sharing some music, which I'll touch back on later. So obviously they showcased their songs, like their performances, because they sang Velocidade, and they also did, like I mentioned, like a relay dance. And relay dances are really popular in Korean, like if you listen to any K-pop artist, part of their comeback, they'll appear, I forget what the channel is, but they'll do a relay dance to their lead single, which is basically like they take turns dancing. And most of the time it's just like fun, them vibing and stuff like that. But also, for those of you going to KCON, if you haven't gone to KCON before to see Santos Bravos, I don't know if they're going to do it specifically there, but KCON also has like a section, especially for fans, when it's like a relay where you line up side by side, they play a song, and you have to go and like do the choreo of that song. So in this case, they did a relay of their own songs, which is why they went in pairs, like doing the choreo for, I remember, if I remember correctly, it was 0% Kawasaki, Velocidade, and then, so that's why it was like a relay dance. It's a good way for them to showcase their dancing abilities, but also like their choreos so that fans can see it. But that's part of like the, what the word I'm looking for? The format of the show. And as well as it's like a perfect platform for them to be themselves, be relaxed, because we get to see how they interact with each other when it's not scripted. Another thing that I loved is that they were definitely very well prepared by their PR team as what questions they might be asked, because obviously the hosts are giving a list of, you can ask about this, but you can't just ask about this. So they're very strict with those PR questions. They don't have like they don't specifically get told they're gonna ask you this, so rehearse this question, but it's like they're gonna ask you to present, discuss the different songs, who's gonna take this one on, and when they ask you about like the fan base, who's gonna take that on, and when they ask you about like the show, who's gonna take that on, like they get trained how to give PR answers, and they all did amazing, especially considering they were speaking in English. I know Kenneth sometimes se trababan con las palabras y hablaban español, but it's totally normal considering it's not their first language. They all did really, really good. So you could tell that they prepared for this, and their personalities all shown because they were interacting with each other. Alejandro, our boy, he was like in his home. This is literally the K-popification of Alejandro Aramburu. We know our boy loves K-pop. And I think like this is like he's living his best life. Because it's like his dream come true. And the reason I'm saying that is because the styling that they gave all of them is very unique to them. But Alejandro is giving very K-drama vibes. He's like the main lead in a K-drama. He's like the boys over flowers that, you know, he's coming towards you. He's the main lead. He's like giving you those uwu eyes. But not only that, he was living it up with the aegyo. He was like the aegyo king. Like the fact that he was doing aegyo, like that even Eric said he had. I've seen other artists do it, but even Eric has said they can do it. He knew like all the different types of hearts, the sneeze heart, the cheek heart. They knew the like overhead hearts, the finger hearts, but also the styling. Like I know they all got like new hairstyles. Like Gavi's a little blonder. Kenneth is like brown, like light brown hair. Drew, his hair isn't platinum anymore, and Kawi, his hair got like straightened. I don't know how to feel about that. I feel it was a little bit to tone down the fact that he's a POC, because sadly there's still a lot of racism in Korea, as much as we love to think like romanticize it. So I feel like they kind of like took out his curls to reduce, like not make it so obvious that he's like a person of color. But I'm like, I don't know. I love the contacts on them, but I personally felt like he was kind of like reserved, considering he's an extrovert. Because when they read the IMTVs, he's an extrovert. He was very quiet in this section. Like it was like something turned on him when they did that, like switched on him when they did the styling, the makeover. He wasn't as chatty or as goofy. He was more like model pose, like serving face. So he was a little quiet. But then we have our boy Ale. His hair is darker, and they literally styled his hair like the K-pop artists. Like if you ever see any K-pop artists, it's the C's, like they call them the Chanel C's, because it's like this, However, his hair is so thick and it's not trained yet, so it looked like a little poofy, whereas usually it's more like it's more natural. But I feel like it's because of the texture of Ale's hair, and he hasn't been trained to sit the way it sits. But he still looked amazing. So that was one of the things that I noticed. Also, I love that their interactions between them. I don't know if you guys caught this on when they were asking about like their favorite snacks and if they had tried spicy food. Eric said like, we can't say the name, but you know, the one with the rooster that's really spicy. He was talking about the budak ramen, because there's no product placements in like Korean shows. You have to always take out everything. Like if you ever see any lives from any Korean artists, there's no branding. If they're drinking water, there's no labels. If they're eating something, there's no labels. They always hide the labels because it's considered free promotion. So that's why Eric said like, we can't say the name, but I know what you're talking about. And then when Eric was explaining to them, recommending some snacks, he said, I can't say the name, but it's like a banana, and it's like, it gives like a kick. It literally, I know which snack he was talking about because it's one of my favorites. It's called Banana Kick. And I'll put a picture so you guys can see what the snack looks like. But it's literally like, they're shaped like Cheetos, but they taste like bananas. They're like they look like Cheeto Puffs, but they taste like bananas. So, and Koreans love sweets. They love sweets. So banana kicks are like more on the sweet side. So if you like sweet things, you like banana kicks and you would like banana milk, amazing. I would recommend them. Another thing that I wanted to mention is I loved the fact that they practiced their Korean. They didn't like, they did pretty good with when they were introducing themselves, and they're like, 안녕하세요, like Alejandro Aramburu입니다. Their pronunciation was really good, especially Alejandro. That's how I can tell that he really is interested in the culture and he really appreciates it. And it's like one of his passions that he's actively looking into, and it's not just for the show. Not that the other members don't appreciate it or respect it, but you can tell that Alejandro actually, it's something that he loves, that's like within his daily life. The fact that he's an Enhypen fan says a lot, which I'm going to talk about also a little bit later. But yeah, their pronunciations were really good. I could tell, especially the reason I mentioned Ale is because he was always saying like, he was throwing in Korean words. He was saying like 감사합니다, 사랑해요. I don't know if you guys heard, but he kept saying 가자, 가자, and that means like, let's go. That's why later on he said like, vamos. Kaja in Spanish is vamos, because like kaja, let's go, like let's do this, kaja. That's what you say. And also Eric kept saying fighting, fighting. That's also a very popular Korean saying that is kind of saying like, you got this, cheering you on. So when somebody's gonna do something new, they're gonna do a test, or they're gonna do a presentation, or they're gonna do something that they're nervous about, you as a friend would be like, fighting, you know, like I'm cheering for you. So those were some of the terms that if you guys weren't familiar with, that's what they were using. And I love that Alejandro was using his Korean as much as he could, which I love. I love. Also, when Drew and Kawe taught Eric the dance challenge choreo for Velocidade, I know a lot of fans were surprised at how fast he learned it, but literally, K-pop idols, they've done training for so many years. It's gotten to the point where they get shown a choreography and they learn it within 10-15 minutes, like a 5-minute choreography. They can like watch it, learn it, and like repeat it, especially the ones that are the dance leads. There's always like one or two within groups that are like the main dancers that can just like soak up the choreography and like, okay, teach it to their members. And even their members, they will learn it slowly, really fast, literally the way Eric was learning it, where it's like, okay, this step, and then he's just like, let's mark it a couple times, and then full speed. I loved like Drew's dance teacher came out in this episode, because you could tell he's a dancer. Like he's not just like, he didn't just get taught to dance for the show. You could tell he's a dancer through and through, because the way he was teaching was like a true dancer. He wasn't teaching counts like 1, 2. Sometimes he would be like, this is a and 1 and 2, 3. But he was teaching with the noises, pa 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 pa, and he's like, and salsa, and like okay, and ha ha ha. Like you could hear him making those noises, and that's, if you've ever gone to a dance studio, that's how dancers teach. They don't teach like 2 counts, because sometimes it's hard because it'll be half counts or it'd be like longer. So it's like 1, 2, 3, or 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Or sometimes you got to go with the rhythm. So that's why when he was showing, especially Eric had a little bit of trouble during the little salsa style when it's like ta 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 ta. Once he was trying to teach him like left and right and left, and Eric needed the pacing. So once Drew said like ta 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 ta, Eric was like, oh, I got it. So yeah, that's why he was able to learn it that fast. Most K-pop people that like do cover dances, they do take a while. Like personally, when I've learned like a challenge, I kid you not, it takes me like, it could take me, okay, if I'm with a group, it'll take me like an hour to learn 15 seconds. And that's just like rough. If I wanted to get it like perfect, it could take me up to like 3 hours to get like all the timing and like the angles and like the facials and like every like the points like the hands, and like Drew was saying the you know, like all the little intricacies. It can take people that are not professionals a lot longer. So that's why I was like, literally Eric is showing everybody, and even like them, just how fast K-pop idols learn choreography. So I thought that was really cool. I love that. I loved seeing Drew shine in his element, being like teacher. And it's also another thing that Eric, when he was saying, I don't know if you guys caught or heard or understood, he was saying, okay, Sim, like you're gonna teach us, Sim. And in Korea, that's kind of like a shortened way of saying teacher to somebody. Sim. You'll see, if you ever watch K-dramas, especially like the ones that are in school, you'll hear the students tell their teacher, Sim. They don't always say Sonsangnim, which is teacher, like the full name for teacher. They shorten it to Sim, from the song and the nim, so Sim. So that's why he was saying like the word Sim. I do want to say, I was so proud. I'm like, a reason why this is one of the main appearances that I love, and the fact that it's in Korea, the translator did her job. Everything that they said in English, the translator translated to a T in Korean. I'm not like, my speaking isn't that great, but I could understand like 80%, and everything they said in English, she translated. Sometimes when it was, I think it was, who was it that went really fast? I think, when it was Drew, when it was Kawit, when it was Kenneth, that he was saying like, he said all his favorite food, and then he's ran to his hobbies without waiting for her to translate. He talked a lot about like, le gustan tacos al pastor, le gusta la comida picante, all of that, and then sus hobbies. But then since he talked so much, then she just translated like, he likes tacos and he likes spicy food and his hobbies are these. So she shortened it because he forgot to pause to let her translate, and then she was like, well, I forgot what everything you said. But for the most part, everything that she translated everything perfectly. So the Korean fans that were listening to or seeing them for the first time, they heard everything they said correctly. There was nothing that was translated differently or short, like omitted. Like she did a perfect job. The one thing that I did find interesting was when they were asking Gawe his favorite foods, like Korean food. He talked about loving kimchi, and then he loved K-barbecue. Obviously, us as foreigners, we call it K-barbecue because it's Korean barbecue. But it'd be, imagine if like somebody told an American, like, what's your favorite food? American hot dogs. American burgers, like what? Or like Latinos, what's your favorite food? Mexican carne asada. So it's the way that, the fact that it said the word K, she wasn't going to translate K-barbecue because to Koreans it's just barbecue, but also like what type of barbecue. So when she translated it, she said samgyeopsal, which is pork belly. So she specifies the type of meat because she wasn't just gonna say he likes barbecue. So she said samgyeopsal, which is pork belly, which is delicious. If you haven't tried it, it's delicious. So yeah, those were some of the things that I made notes. That's why I'm looking down because I didn't want to miss anything. Those are some of the stands out from the interview, and also when Eric recommended more foods to Kawa besides kimchi, because kimchi is more like a side dish. It's almost like having a side plate of rábanos or chiles, or like a side dish of like cilantro that you add it as a condiment. So that's how kimchi is. It's a type of side dish that you complement it with something. You usually eat it with most meals. It's like a side. Whenever you go to a Korean restaurant, they're gonna have some type of kimchi, where it's whether it's radish kimchi or cucumber kimchi or the traditional cabbage kimchi. So, and I know that Kara liked it because it has like a little bit of like a kick, a little bit sour, and a little bit spicy because of the gochujang that it's mixed with. It's like it's almost like capsicum, the powder, the red powder that it's mixed with. But Eric recommended 3 dishes that, in case you guys aren't familiar with them, I wanted to explain them to you. The first one was kimchi. Well, Kawa said he liked kimchi bokkeumbap, which is kimchi fried rice. That's literally what it is. So it's almost like, think about the fried rice that you eat like when you go to Chinese food, but with kimchi, and actually not as dry. It's a little bit more moist because when you cook it, you add some of the kimchi sauce to it, and you add like green onions. And when the rice that you use is just white rice, just cooked with water, with no salt or anything. Like if you have a rice cooker, you would make it in a rice cooker, then grab your rice and put it in the pan with sesame seed oil, and then you would add the chopped up kimchi juice. Sometimes people add spam to it, like they fry it and chop it up, and then at the end you add sesame seeds. So that was what Kawa mentioned. He liked the kimchi bokkeumbap, which means pop means rice, so that's kimchi fried rice. The other one that Eric recommended was kimchi jjigae, which is kimchi stew. Their stews are so good, but when you get their stews, when they serve them to you, they're literally still boiling because they're served in a pot that's literally, the pot is almost like, it's almost like the same material as a molcajete, but it's kind of like a type of steel. So it's cooking on the stove in that pot, and they pull it out with like tongs, and they serve it to you in like a little wooden board, because when they serve it to you, the bowl is still piping hot and the stew is still like boiling. But kimchi jjigae, that's what it is. It's like kimchi stew, which is like a type of broth that you eat like when it's hearty. It's like something you eat when it's cold. Another one he recommended was what other one? Oh, kimchi jon. So kimchi jon is basically a kimchi pancake. And the reason it's called pancake is because it looks like a pancake. It's flat. It looks like a thick tortilla. So what a lot of people put to the kimchi jon, it's like it has flour, obviously, to create the pancake consistency, so it doesn't like spread all over. But again, it's kimchi, and people add like green onions, but it's like fried together like if you're making a pancake. That's why it's called kimchi jon. And there's different types of jons, the different types of pancakes, but those were the 2 dishes that he recommended if Kawi likes kimchi, just to expand his palate and not just eat it like by itself, but eat it in like the types of foods that it is included in. Sorry, neighbors. So yeah, moving on to, I wanted to talk about, like, I love the way that they all had their individual moments to say who they were, and like if you guys noticed, when they were together, they were super like chatty and giggly and friendly. Alejandro was like eating with no cares in the world. He was eating the snacks. He was like just which was like hilarious to me, but also like endearing, and I love it because usually K-pop idols, they have to watch their image, so they don't want to be seen eating a lot. They always have to be like perfect because that's the standard. But he was just like, I don't care. A camera's on me. I'm gonna be eating. I have my mouth full of food. So I love that. I love that, and I feel like all their personalities shone through when they were interacting with each other. But once it was like you stand on your own and talk about who you are, present yourself. It's like a class presentation. Like, hi, my name is so and so. I'm my favorite hobby is this. I like to do this. Blah blah blah. They got super shy, like nervous. You could tell because Drew was kind of rambling. Um, they were all like a little too animated. Gavi, you could tell he got so shy. He was just like little like Mr. Moonmaker was just like, yeah, I'm just the funny guy. I'm just the cool guy. You know, I love that. I love that. And Kawe, that's why I'm saying he looked like a little bit more reserved. He was just like serving face. I don't know if he felt in the mood to serve, but nothing wrong with that. And Alejandro, he was giving everybody their YN moment. Like he was there for the fan service. Like if he was a K-pop idol, he'd be the king of fan service because he was just interacting with the fans. The same with Kenneth, like all of them, where they were throwing them like hand hearts, you know, hand hearts or finger hearts. Like when Ali's like, I'm shy, and he literally like sank down beneath the camera. I love that they got to showcase who they are as individuals, but also that they individually introduced a song, and that way they sang and showed like, I can sing, like I'm doing this a cappella and I can sing. And they each showcased like their the type of music that they like to listen to, because we had our boy Kenneth singing something in Spanish. We had Drew singing Yukon from Justin Bieber. Our boy Gabi, who's farther and farther from reggaeton as always, he had to represent the Bad Bunny, you know. He had to represent him as much as he could. Our boy Kawe with the Destiny's Child slow down song of Say My Name really showcased his like R&B, because he styled it. It's a slow down version of Say My Name, because the song is usually like more like upbeat, and the tempo and like the music is more like faster. So I love the way he slowed it down, because it really showcased his vocals. And even Eric was like, whoa, that's crazy. Michota, that's crazy. Like, you're insane. I can't believe you can do that. And our K-popper Alejandro had to bust out Enhypen. I saved him for last because I just want to talk a little bit more about him. And the reason I talk a little bit more about Alejandro than the rest of them is because I'm coming from like a boy band knowledge, especially K-pop, and they're like K-pop adjacent. They were trained with the K-pop method, and we know, like, ever since Bad Desire, Alejandro is like, that's I'm like, I compared him to Heesung of Enhypen, who just left the group to go solo. Like, not saying that that's gonna happen to Ale, but literally Heesung was the heart of, to me, Heesung was the heart of Enhypen. And the reason I compare Alejandro to Heesung is because I mentioned before, the way he sings, he emotes the songs. Like whatever he's singing, he gives you the feeling. He makes you feel what the song is trying to tell you. He's not just hitting the notes, which I'm not saying the other boys are just hitting the notes robotically and they're not feeling. But Alejandro, you know, he's a romantic boy. You can tell like his little heart goes flutter. Like he said, he's very emotional. But when he sings, I could tell like it's coming from like deep in here, and you can hear it in his voice. You could hear it in the way he emotes, and see in the way that he emotes in his face. So the fact that like, I know that he loves, at least he loves Enhypen and K-pop, but every single, obviously for Bad Desire, it could have been what was assigned to him. But even to now, the song choice he did, it's very Heesung coded. Because in Bad Desire, the part he did, those iconic whoa, that's Heesung, and those are hard to hit. If you ever seen, like, I noticed when he did, I'll show the cover later, when they did the oh, it's hard to do it if you're just like oh. When Heesung performs it, the only reason I keep referencing the original is because the way he performs it, he moves his face to let the sound out. He'll say like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He opens his mouth and that goes that, ah. So that's why I'm saying, like, I can tell that Alejandro really actually likes the music because he is imitating the style that Heesung does. And Heesung is an ace. He is perfect pitch. He can sing you any note, he can sing you any tempo. And the fact that Alejandro's kind of like using him as his role model, as his base, like, that guy is good, I want to be just as good as him, it's so good for him to have. You always have to have a role model. You have to have somebody like that tells you, I want to be just as good as that, because it motivates you to be better. And the reason I mention this is because he sang like a little bit of Moonstruck, and that song, all the Enhypen fans know that's very Heesung coded. That's like a Heesung song. If he's not in that song, it's not the same. And literally the portion that he sang is Heesung's portion. So, and the reason I mention this is because it is not an easy note to hit. Even when he did it, they changed the key. They lowered it because he started lower. What was it? Oh, it's like, he sang it lower, like, just the two of us, keep a June coming Moonstruck. And then he went to his headspace. Oh, you make me go crazy over you. But that was very bold of him because the original, obviously they changed the note, the key, they lowered it because the original is a bit higher. But going into it like straight raw takes talent because Heesung's pitch is higher and he sings with like his full voice. He doesn't use his voice. Obviously, Alejandro knew he wasn't going to hit that note and they're not going to have him get embarrassed in public. But when Heesung starts it, it's more like from his gut. And it's like, just the two of us, Kipajun can and Moonstruck. And then he goes, oh, you make me go. But like, I use my head voice because I can't hit that note. But Heesung hits those notes, like those high notes. He hits them the way he can switch in between. So I was like, Alejandro, you chose like one of the hardest vocally challenging songs to interpret. Props to you because you did it well. Even with the key change, you know what you can do, but you still did it justice. If any of you guys are interested in listening to like comparison of the original, I'm gonna link a clip on the description of Heesung singing that literally from his, like in his, one of the recording rooms where they do the lives from. There was a time when they were doing like clips of them singing parts of their songs, and Heesung did this portion of Moonstruck, and you're gonna understand why it's like such a hard song, because he goes, the way he sings it with so much emotion and the way he goes into those high octaves, that's why he's an all-rounder. He's like an ace. And I was like, Alejandro, you picked a good role model. You know who you're trying to like, you know who you're trying, like, not who you're trying to be, but what artist inspires you to keep trying to get better. So I was like, my boy Alejandro, aren't my K-pop lover? But anyways, yeah, if you guys are interested in seeing like a comparison of what the original sounds like and compare it to how Alejandro did it and why I'm saying like he did such a good job with such a challenging song that he chose, I'll link it in the description. You guys are free to watch it. It's not that long. But also, they, like I said, they performed Velocidade, and I did a performance, like interpretation again with That Desire, and also Swim from BTS, which is like, BTS is promoting right now, so the fact that they let them do the cover is like pretty good. Also, another thing, I love that when Gabi was talking about what it was like to have all these artists, because it's funny because Eric mentioned like all these artists like TXT, Enhypen, Le Seraphim, Islet, Cat's Eye, Twas, what is it like, Cordis, what does it feel like for all these artists to do your challenges? I was literally like, that's just that's the high roster. Like, they have so many artists that they need just to do each other's challenges, and that's like enough coverage for them. They don't need to like look outside of that company to other record labels, because they have enough people within that label, within that like corporation. So I love that Gabby was literally talked about how they're a family. And that's what I said, like once they stepped foot in Korea and they went to Hive and they're in the practice rooms, they're obviously been training like in their media rooms and their vocal rooms. They're trying everything out, probably trying out like the workouts, at the gyms, all in one building. But that the fact that they're embraced by the other Hive artists and like interacted with them, what they did with Boy Next Door, with Le Sserafim, with Eyelid in person, and with Cat's Eye. And then the fact that they got the gift from BTS, the Just Swim jackets, which yes, it's promo, but only Hive artists are receiving those, even though there are other groups, because that swim is trending all over like socials. A lot of artists, Korean artists and like Asian artists, are doing the challenge to swim, but only Hive artists have those windbreakers and the hats. And a couple of like actor friends of the BTS members have been gifted that merch. So it's an exclusive merch. So yes, it's PR for BTS, but it's also like welcome to the family, And so yeah, I love that Gabby talked about that he's like, we're a family, we just like support each other, because it's true. As much as people want to hate and say it's forced, you can't fake that. You can see it on the interactions. They actually get along with each other and then like support each other, and like the labels root for each other. Like they don't like diss each other. So I love that they're getting welcomed into the fold of the Hive family, even though they're like from Latin America. Now they're experiencing it firsthand. And also our boy Kawe, he got like so excited. I hope that they get to see the concerts. We had the first BTS concert super early in the morning, Thursday morning. I know a couple of the Hive artists were already there in attendance, and artists from other labels. It rained cats and dogs, so I hope that Santos Bravos didn't go that day because they can't get sick. Hopefully they get to go Saturday or Sunday, because that would be Kawe's dream come true, I swear. And probably also Alejandro. I don't know about our reggaetonero boy Gabby. He's just along for the ride. But anyways, after all that recap about Idol Radio, like my key takeaways, and just like kind of sharing some feedback with you guys of how the program worked, I wanted to go ahead and obviously react to the performance of Velocidade, because I haven't seen it in person. I've seen like clips and fan cams from obviously their performances in festivals. They performed it for fans, but this is my first live performance of Velocidade. Obviously they performed it with just the vocals. They didn't do the full choreo because again the space is so small. We saw the choreo when they did the relay dance, so obviously and when Eric learned it. So I love, and also they just posted the challenge on their socials. But I love the choreo. It's like so flowy, so like Latin vibes, but also like intricate and like the detailing. But we're gonna go ahead and listen to Velocidade, and then after that we're gonna listen to Swim, their cover reinvention of Bad Desire and Swim. So let's go ahead and let's go and do that. I love their name tags also. Hey, Gawe.
Come on. Yeah.
Kenneth with the ad-libs.
Yeah. Dá beijo na boca com gosto de coco, sou louca, só falo carioca.
Kenneth is stepping on
bate, rebola,
Kawe's chord.
Não gosto de minhoca. Baby, não paro, adrenalina que hoje tá caro. Ai, se quero é fácil, doces de vida, é claro que
live vocals.
Bumbum, minha amiga, lá pra cima. Sai da frente, velocidade, com minha gente, tô na minha cidade. Sai da frente, velocidade, com minha gente, tô na minha cidade. Sai da frente, velocidade.
See, like, Kawe's like so subdued. He's just like feeling himself.
Come on, come on. Okay. Vem menina, tu e eu, no replay. Que delícia, que sabor. No replay. Vem menina, tu e eu, baby, okay. Seu beijo me viciou.
Come on.
Yo vi soy fan y cada vez fica melhor. Esse
And Ale?
you kiss? Baby, não para. Adrenalina que hoje tá caro.
He's like acting it up.
Doce da vida, é claro que eu pago. Joga o bumbum, minha amiga. Lá pra cima. Sai da frente, velocidade. Com minha gente, tô na minha cidade. Sai da frente, velocidade. Com minha gente, tô na minha cidade. Sai da frente, velocidade. Com minha gente, tô na minha cidade. Sai da
I love that they're all vibing.
Com minha gente, tô na minha cidade. Ok, vem menina, tu e eu. Põe no replay. Que delícia, que sabor. Põe no replay. Vem menina, tu e eu, baby. Ok, seu beijo me viciou. Yeah, hey, 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 let's get it. Yeah. Come on. Quando ela treme,
Hey! Ale!
quando ela treme, terremoto, bololô, igual a moto, todo mundo tira foto.
Hey, oh my gosh. Cowie is just feeling himself with those contacts. Like, I say he's subdued, but I don't know, he was just like, you know, he was just vibing and tiny. He was like vibing and he was feeling himself like serving face. I love that Drew and Kenneth were interacting with each other. Alejandra was just like acting it up to the camera, and her Boricua over here also, like, their pronunciation is so good. I mean, I don't speak Portuguese, but it sounds exactly the same as the recorded version, which I've heard from Portuguese fans. It's like the pronunciation is good. I noticed that in the beginning when it was Kawa's intro and also like Drew and Kenneth, their mic sound was like off. It was low. You could barely hear them. And once it got into Gavi's portion, then they turned up like the mic on so we could hear it. We could hear the audio from like the audience and all those of us watching live, because probably they hadn't changed the setting, so from the audio that sounds in studio to what was being transmitted, so that was kind of like wonky. And also Kenneth was just stepping all over the mic cables, Kawa's mic cables, but you could tell like they practiced, they rehearsed it, like, because they've been using, I think they've been using either handhelds or in-ears, but this time they were like wired, so you also have to be very careful with that so you're not like tangling them up on people's feet and stuff like that. But I love that they perform Velocidade. It's like this is the single that they're performing in Korea for some reason. I don't know if it's like that's what they're promoting, because first it was obviously 0%, and then it was Kawasaki, and now it's like they're letting Velocidade shine, even though also has like a lyric video. But I love that this is our single they were promoting now, and that Eric loved it. He's like, it's such a vibe, like this is such a good song. And I don't know if you guys saw, but when Eric was leaving the recording in his car, he was listening to 0%, so he wasn't just like smooshing them up for the show. He actually is like, hey, I like this vibe, you know, it's like I kind of want to listen to this. And the fact that he offered to hang out with them and show them around, it was genuine, because he was enjoying their music outside of the studio, outside of when anybody could see him. Like, he didn't know that the fans were going to be out there. Probably he knew fans were going to be waiting for him to leave, but those were his fans. It wasn't like Latin fans, because he's like, I don't have fans in Latin America. And he was listening to 0% in his car. So Eric is a real one. He's actually practicing what he preaches. So that was Velocidade. The next one we're gonna watch is there the way that Eric mentioned it, like the reimagining of Swim and like obviously Bad Desire we are already aware of, but I want to see the way that what the improvement has been from, you know, from when we saw it and the making of the band, if you want to call it, to now. Starting with Swim.
Swim, swim, what if I love your skin? Swim, swim, I could spend a lifetime watching you. Swim, swim, this is how it all begins. Swim, I just wanna dive, I just wanna dive. Bad world, going away, I wake up in this bad world. Name a place that I can be on this bad world. Looking like a goody goody in this bad world, bad world. Don't know how to act, girl. I'm in a deep, tell me where the hell you at, girl. Oh, you ain't even gotta love me back, girl. You know that I'm never holding back, girl. Yeah. So easy, don't make it so hard. Nights like this, I just wanna get lost. Right here with the moon and the sharks. I ain't gotta worry about a thing, baby, I just swim, swim. Water falling off your skin. Swim, swim. I could spend a lifetime watching you. Swim, swim. This is how it all begins. Swim, swim. I just wanna die. I just wanna.
I want to pause it right there because I know they're gonna go into Bad Desire. They reinvented it because obviously, like, I don't know if you guys have heard the original, but it's very like calm. Like the way it starts, swim, swim. The original is water falling off your skin. Swim, swim. I could spend a lifetime watching you swim, swim. This is how it all begins. Swim, swim. I just wanna dive. I just wanna dive. But they changed it. I love Kenneth's backup vocals. How he always does like the duet with like supporting whoever's singing. He was like supporting Kawe, but they changed it from like the I could spend a lifetime swim. I could spend a lifetime watch. Oh my gosh, I forgot. Swim, swim. Water falling off your skin. They've changed it to water falling off your skin. Like they added that little peak. And also, I could spend a lifetime watching you. The only thing I didn't really think fit, they were trying to squeeze in Gawe's like high notes. I feel that was like a little out of place. He could have still done like I could spend a lifetime watching without going into the falsetto, because to me it kind of like threw it off. But it could be also because I'm partial to the original. But I do love that the way that they rearranged the keynotes on those when Gawe and Alejandro did those parts. My boy Gavi coming in doing RM's part. RM is like one of the main rappers. He is my bias if you guys didn't know. So props to you, Gavi, and also Drew took the second half of that rap. But also our Maknae Kenneth did JK's part, Jungkook. He's also the Maknae of BTS. So I'm like Maknae doing Maknae. I love that. That's the part where it's what is it? What is this song? I literally have to think of the whole song. So easy, don't make it so hard. Nights like these, I just wanna get lost. That's JK's part, Jungkook. So I love that how they distributed the song between like the 5 members. So I think that they did justice to the original. It was just that like that falsetto. I don't think that was needed. Kawa's vocals still showing. He didn't have to go into the falsetto, and that's what I mean. Like you don't always have to push the falsetto to show that he has vocals. There's time and a place, and I feel like for this specific song, considering that they didn't change the medley, like the music, it was a little sharp for me. But now we're gonna go into Bad Desire. Let's see how they do in this one.
I got desires, baby girl, you got desires too. Wanna rub my name up on your skin, feminine like I do. You pull me close to see forever and it never, yeah. Listen, girl, don't touch, don't do it. Don't wanna take your golden light out in the world. You're just an angel, but here in the dark, my sacrifice. With or without you, yeah, I'm torn between a deep desire. With or without you, there's a flame and baby it's getting brighter.
Okay, Ale?
Yeah, you got that. Oh, with or without you,
The runs.
it's all my bad days.
Like the harmonies.
All your bad desires.
Harmonies. And this time Gabby takes the... harmonies!
아, 네, BTS의
Cow goes into like student mode. He goes from like, I'm on, I'm off. I said this from when they did the challenge. I don't think that high note for Kawe fits in this song. He, like, when he's not doing the falsettos, it's like, I don't feel like a falsetto fits in this style of song, because he did do like runs and like in a lower register, like a lower, not so high pitch. And it's like when he was doing the harmonies, the oh, that sounded beautiful. But when it's like in just a verse, I don't feel like that high pitch. But that has been my critique since they performed it in the like reality, like the making of. So it's not like I'm not nitpicking on Kawe. I've never liked that arrangement with just sticking that high note in there. I feel like it didn't fit. But again, our boy Ale doing Heesung's part. With or without you, like with that emotion. Gavi, our boy, he took the lower register. You guys know how I nitpick that part when it's like, tell me all your deepest. Like I always said, it's supposed to be like, like guttural, like I'm evil. He didn't do it like that, but he hit the note. Like you could hear him, because when, if you guys remember, when they, like, I think it was, oh my god, I'm forgetting their names already. The two that did it for the challenges. You didn't hear one, and the other one was off key. Like, tell me all your deepest. At least, like, Gavi was on key, like, tell me all your deepest. Even if it didn't sound like gritty, he was like, boom, boom. Like, up, down. Which gives it that same vibe. And he stayed on key, so good job, Gabby. But obviously, you know, we feel how we feel about this song, because it was a very challenging song to them. It was also their very first time they did it. They had to do full-on choreo with the song and like perform it in front of like Son Sung Duk. So I like that obviously they rearranged it because it's different pairings now, and like so they take different parts because it's a different group, like little bits and pieces from the other two groups to create this one. I think they did well, except for, again, like I don't feel like some of the falsettos needed to be there. And I do feel like Alejandro was a little bit nervous because his voice sounded a little strained when he went into it. But how can you not be nervous when you're singing like two very well-known songs to Korean fan base? Anybody listening to Idol Radio is like, oh, they're doing an Enhypen song? Oh, they're doing a BTS song? Like, and literally this song is trending. It's still #1 on all the charts, even though it's been now it's going to be 3 weeks that it's been since it was released, and they're already like doing the cover for it. So that was very, again, the covers are from Hive artists, because Hive said, you have the right to perform these songs, to do covers of them. So I think they did a pretty good job, you know, to showcase like their harmonies, the fact that they're not only doing their style of music, but they can also do covers of like other artists and like do them justice. So I think they did a good job. Like I mentioned, I love their badges. Something that you guys might not know if you're not familiar with the K-pop industry. A lot of new artists, when they're appearing in shows or when they're doing camera blocking in like music shows, they will wear giant name tags so that the camera people will know who to follow when. So this is also to help visually help like the Korean audience that's watching know who's who. So I love the way that they spelled Dru, Kenneth, Kawe, Alejandro, and Gebi. It's like, that's what their name tags say. They say their names in Hangul so that new fans or new people tuning into the show are like, oh, who are these guys? They're charismatic. I like their vibes. Like, what's this guy's name? What's the name of the guy with the really pretty eyes? Everybody's falling in love with his eyes. Like, I feel like that was such a shock to Drew because that's the second time that a guy compliments his eyes. But that's one of the reasons that a lot of K-pop art idols wear contacts, like colored contacts, because their eyes are like one of the key points that like draw people in. It's like the hair color and the eyes, and obviously like the cheeks, the angles. So the fact that Drew naturally has those stunning eyes, they're like, dang, you're so pretty. And also we saw the change in Kawe once he got those green contacts in. It's like, whoa, it's like a whole new Kawe. But anyways, those were my thoughts on their performances of Velocidade, which I love. I love how they got to showcase who like their own music and like their style, their dancing, but also like showcase that they can do other covers of other artists and also supporting Hive artists. Like I said, I love their styling. But yeah, that was my kind of long video talking about Idol Radio. I think it was just announced that because they're going to be in Korea for 3 weeks. I think they've already been there a week. So next week on the 16th, they're going to be making their I think it's Music Bank. They're going to be making their appearance. The Music Bank is, I don't know if there's anything in Latin America that's similar to it. I know in the US we used to have like Total Request Live, where artists would show up and perform their songs that were popular at the moment and like promote their music. Music Bank is that same format. Any new artists that just, or any artist that just released a new album, a new song, they're trying to promote that album, they will make an appearance on like Show Champion, Music Bank, Music Core. They'll show up, they'll do little interviews, interact with the fans, interact with the hosts. They'll tape a performance because not all of the performances are live. Some are like pre-taped and they'll just like aired during the show. And then at the end of the show, they announce the winner of the week. So obviously, Santos Bravos is not going to win anything because they're just literally there to promote the song. But you will, if you tune in through the whole show, you will see like at least 2 groups or 3 groups that are like competing, and they're charting like they chart like the point systems, which is based on like streaming, how many points they get for streaming, how many points they get for like global streaming, and then domestic streaming, how many points they get from like music that was purchased during that week, and then like fan votes. So you're gonna see like different categories of points, and at the end it gets tallied up, and the winner of the week, they win like a trophy, and they're titled the winners. So that's what we're gonna be seeing. I know that's the same week that TXT is gonna be on Music Bank, but I don't think it's the same day. So it would be amazing if it was, but I don't know what other artists is gonna be on their show at the same time. Or it might be TXT because I think it's like once a week. So I'm excited that that's another Korean show that they're going to be showcased in. I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing Velocidade, so they're going to get even a wider audience. I'm not sure the way Music Bank is set up because it depends on show between Music Bank, Music Core, show. Sometimes they'll have like their fan base, like their fans show up for their taping, and you'll hear like the cheering of the specific fans. So if it's like a Santos Bravos performance, they'll usher in the Santos Bravos audience to cheer them on. So they'll have like a home, like, oh, my fans are actually here, and it helps them with their performance. Other times it's just the limited studio audience that gets selected, and then they cheer for all the artists that are showing up, because that's part of it. You have to cheer for every artist, and then they get to interact with the members while they're being interviewed, you know, like, 'cause the way it's set up, it's gonna look like it's huge, but it's like such a tiny space, and you're so close to the audience. So if any of the dual that are already there get to go like and support, please cheer them on, give them lots of love for us, and like give them good interactions. Like, don't be cringy, please, and don't scream too much. Like, that's not the time and place to be cheering for your country. I get it. We have like pride for, you know, Peru, Puerto Rico, Brazil, Mexico. You don't get like screams for the US. I don't know why. But that's not the way, that's not the place to do it. That's not the place to be like, Viva Peru, Viva Veracruz, you know, Viva Mexico. That's just like the place to be like, cheer on for Santos Bravos, to clap for them and like interact with them, like maybe say something like funny to them, but don't be like so loud that you overshadow the hosts and overshadow them. That's just like a tip for those of you that are going, if you are watching this. But anyways, what did you guys think of their appearance on Idol Radio? Was it what you expected? Was it a little bit of like a culture shock, like the format for you? Hopefully, like those of you that weren't very familiar with this show understand a little bit more of how it works now that I kind of detailed it for you a little bit and like explained it to you. Again, I'm gonna link the little clip of Heesung singing his portion of Moonstruck on the description so you guys can see like what Ale was going for, like the comparison, and why I'm like, dang Ale, you go boy, I'm so proud of you. Because not that Justin Bieber's song wasn't challenging, and not that Titi Me Preguntó wasn't challenging, or Destiny's Child wasn't challenging, but I feel like those are more mainstream songs that all of us are familiar with and can already compare. But those of you that are not familiar with Moonstruck, which is a beautiful, beautiful song, if you guys are interested, I recommend for you to hearing the full version. But the clip that I'm gonna link just showcases Heesung's portions, and you're gonna know when I'm like, the fact that Alejandro is emulating Heesung and using him as like his role model, and like, okay, this is what a good performer and a good singer does. It's like really good for him. So anyways, let me know what you guys thought in the comments, and hopefully I'll probably come back whenever they do their music back performance. Sometimes those channels are very strict with copyright, so if I don't post it, it's because I got a copyright strike. So just letting you guys know. But anyways, I will, you know, see you soon with whatever content they keep giving us from their Korean promotions. And also, they recently got nominated for another Latin music show. I forget what it is, but you know what it is, so vote.